This video will demonstrate how to use Smart Notebook with PWIM sentences to model paragraph writing. The first thing you'll want to do is to set your text up to be an appropriate size. I would suggest 14 is a good one. Make sure your font color is black. And then you want to type out your sentences one word at a time. I'm going to use some example sentences here that were provided to me by some students about the busker picture. Now, when I type in the first word, of course, capitalize it, and then put a space at the end. And then I'm going to click in the white space over here to start typing my second word. Put a space. Always make sure you put a space at the end of every word. Plain space. And after every word, a space, and then click in the white space. And at the end of the sentence, you're going to put 2 spaces. Then, what you're going to do is you need to go to View, Alignment, and make sure that you show guides for active objects and snap objects to guides. When those 2 are checked off, then using the select tool up here, the little black arrow, grab your words and you start to put them in order, and you'll see that these gray guidelines show up, and as I slide the words together, a little vertical gray line shows up, and that vertical gray line means that the 2 words are bumped right up against each other. If I hadn't put a space after the word buskers, the A would be right up against the S and it would look funny. So adding that space allows you to much quicker and easier, or much more quickly and easily align the words. All right, there's my first sentence. Then I'm going to click and drag over top of all of these words. I'm going to right click, go to group, and group them. I could also use the keyboard shortcut Control G. And now I can move around as one sentence. I'm going to pause the video quickly and enter the rest of my sentences. Okay, I now have my 5 sentences that I'm going to use for this paragraph, and I'm simply going to drag them and arrange them in the order that I want them. So I start with, what are the buskers doing, with a question and answer structure. Buskers are playing instruments on the street, and you'll notice that because I put 2 spaces after each sentence, when I go to line these up, it lines up nicely with the right spacing in there. So make sure at the end of your sentences, when you're writing them out, you put 2 spaces at the end of the last word. And then I might say buskers are playing music to make money. 3 buskers are selling their music. Then do buskers like playing music? And there's my first paragraph. And that would be your first step with students in their model. But then when you ask them to start editing their paragraphs by cutting sentences up, here's where it gets handy to have the words, or the sentences typed in as individual words. For example, well, my first edit might actually just be to change this word buskers to they. What are the buskers doing? They are playing their instruments on the street. So to do that, I'm just going to choose the pen, choose blue, choose a nice thin line, and I'll just cross out the word buskers. Then I'll choose the text tool again, change my color to blue, and just above here I'll write the word they. Use the select tool to move it a little closer there, lined up, and there's your first edit. Now, here where we have buskers are playing music to make money. Three buskers are selling their music. I might want to combine those two sentences, and that's where the word having them entered as words instead of whole sentences comes in handy. For example, what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to change it to say three buskers are playing and selling their music to make money. So I first need to take this sentence, and I'm going to ungroup it. Then I'm going to select just these three words, slide them over. Take these, I'm going to use Control R this time to ungroup them. Take just this word playing, slide it in there. Then I'm going to add the word and with a space at the end. Slide these back in place. And then take these three and slide them in here. Now, I need to edit this one word, get rid of the period and one of the spaces. Slide these in nice and tight. And now I've got my new sentence. And then I can slide this sentence in again at the end. And I have my paragraph. These out of the way so students know they're not part of the paragraph. And there's my edited paragraph. At this point, you may want to then show students even further editing by adding adjectives or adding new interesting words to their paragraphs. And again, you can do that just simply by splitting the sentences up, pulling them over, and adding your adjectives.